Prior to coming to Deer Hollow, I was at the police department. I had young twin daughters, and life was horrible. I'd go to a family function and sit in a side room and just hope that no one else would come in because I didn't want to talk to anybody. Friendships would just kind of dwindle out because there was just so much work to do anything other than, go to work. I sit on the couch. Everything was exhausting. I did not sleep well. I'd go to work to check out, and then I would just check out at work. And I was just seeking, adrenaline was the only thing that would keep me afloat. So I went to Deer Hollow in 2019 when my life was falling apart. I made the decision I'm gonna dive headfirst into it, and it was so much different than I expected and so much better. It was challenging to be disconnected from family during Deer Hollow. My kids were young, so they didn't really understand it. That was challenging for me. The work I was doing wasn't just for me, it was to the longevity, so I'm here with my family, because there was a point in time where I didn't really have a way out. I was looking for a way out. A week into it, I realized, holy crap, I need to stay for as long as it let me. And I did. I stayed for 44 days. It was incredible. It taught me how to have a healthy, happy life. It saved my life. For me, it was just realizing that I can be healthy and happy and take care of myself, and that it's okay to not be okay. I can be vulnerable. That was the biggest thing for me, is I was ashamed that I was having to go to Deer Hollow. I was embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to know. Just realizing I wasn't alone in this. I was in there with people that had similar stories. And I realized that a lot of people at my agency had similar stories and were just silently dealing with the same stuff I was dealing with. Now I can be that beacon of hope for people at my agency and share my experience and get them to, if they're struggling, to actually do something about it. Since going back to work and being able to employ the tools and the skills that I learned at Deer Hollow, life is good. I'm thriving at work. I've promoted 2 times. I was an officer when I, in the PROACT team when I came to Deer Hollow. Then I became a detective and the training officer, and then a sergeant, and now a commander. And none of that would have happened had I not gone to Deer Hollow. Just, my emotional intelligence grew leaps and bounds going to Deer Hollow, and just understanding why stuff bothered me. And the idea of asking for help is not ingrained in all of us, and that's okay. You're not alone. There's more people struggling than you would think. It took me a long time to realize that a large part of my department was struggling. They just didn't talk about it. My journey, my recovery journey, has evolved in crazy ways. I know what's good for me, what in a relationship, I know what healthy relationships are. I met my wife and I'm happy. I didn't know this is what being in a happy relationship was. I don't know if I've ever had a healthy, happy relationship. That life is so good.